So on stream yesterday, I was kind of racking my head as to how I was going to clear this 90++ node because there's quite a few culminating problems for me. For one, I don't want to use Castoria because my Castoria is already Bond 15, and as some people may know, once you hit a Bond 15 with a character, sure, you'll still use them, but you would like to try to min-max them because you want to get more Bond on some of your other characters because more Bond means more Saint Quartz is more summon. So that's already an issue that I have, but I also don't have Koyanskaya or Oberon, which is kind of notable because the main enemy you're fighting in this 90++ is the alter ego Azumi no Izora. I hope I'm saying that correctly. And they change their attribute depending on what stage they're in, so they can be man, earth, or star, and their alignments also change from lawful good to neutral balance. They also have some weird traits like, say, divinity and stuff that maybe I thought I could take advantage of, but realistically what it came down to was, alright, they're stage 1, so that means that they have the manpower mod. Maybe Kagetora can get in there and actually clear this, and she actually surprised me, right? We just talked about the Berserker Artoria, or Berserker Castoria, I guess a bit more accurately, and Draco, and some people were asking, well, what about Kenshin? You know, I know you mentioned her at the end of the video, but, you know, you said you didn't talk about her because she's coming out later on in the year, and she's actually the key to getting this done. I was a little bit worried because, sure, my Kenshin is NP2, I thought she was good enough to warrant getting a second copy of, but it was one of those things where I'm like, it is like, you know, going in type neutral. You know, she doesn't have the super effective that you would have if you were bringing, say, like a Saber against a Lancer, right? You don't have that added bonus damage, so I was a little bit worried about it, but thankfully, the event CE for this 90++ does give you 2 stages of overcharge. This not only works really well for characters like, say, Ace the Savior, who really need that overcharge if you want to do setups involving her, but for characters with power mods on their overcharge, this is a really good showcase on how you can abuse that overcharge and really like max it out quite easily. And because some people were asking about Summer Chloe, this will also function as a little bit of a show off for how she does in some of these setups. So one of the things that is necessary if you're going to be using somebody like Summer BB in this setup, or I guess BB Dubai, so we're not confusing her with the original Summer BB, is that the CE that she has to do this max CE setup is she does need the 3-star that has the 10% starting gauge, and then you also do need to have her a pen skill done. But again, I only have the 1 copy of her, so I don't have like additional coins. I just had to bond my BB up a little bit. And then we open up into scenarios like this. So effectively what you can do is you can just open up and pop all of your skills at once, because you're going to be doing their NPs each once a person. I guess technically you can fire Ibuki's NP twice. That should be shown off as we go through here, as long as, you know, nothing weird and wonky happens. Because I did also want to hopefully show off that like Ibuki over here can function as a little bit of a multi-core support, because she can donate this second skill over to, say, Kagetora for more damage, but Kagetora ends up being pretty fine going into this, whereas Ibuki is going to need the extra damage for the enemy in wave 2. Even though that guy is Earth Power Mod, for some reason she still needs a little bit of the assistance going in. But this does also show off what I really like about Summer BB, or BB Dubai over here, and that's the ability to flex as not only a DPS character, but also a support. Because her NP over here has a lot of very positive effects that you would be able to use, say, going into like a challenge quest or something, but unfortunately, we're not really going to be using, you know, the HP, the invincible, and all that good stuff. We do want that 30% NP damage, though. Now, because this first node can be a little dubious on the clear, I have found that it's a little bit more consistent to just go ahead and pop your Charisma off turn 1 if you would like to consistently get through this without having to use BB Dubai's second skill. If you have a stronger character for your second node, you can obviously save that. You don't have to use that. But Ibuki does need a little bit of help with the arts down on that second node to actually be able to clear that effectively. So, you know, we pop the big BB NP, we get all of our buffs, and then most importantly, we're just going to have Ibuki over here come up and clap this dude up, just absolutely destroy this man's. Yep. That can be a little bit of a roll, depending on what cards you get, so I just like to kind of eliminate the RNG by popping the Charisma on that first node, just to ensure that we're always clearing it. So where Summer Chloe comes in is we want to make sure that we pop this immediately, because we're going to be plug-suiting out BB. Summer Chloe effectively gives you a second plug suit, and now it works like Miss Crane, and I know some people are confused about this, so just to kind of talk about this, she's going to plug suit out for this Chloe right here. Chloe will pop her skills, she will go to this backline where Mash is, meaning that Oberon will slot into that third slot, right? Because it's effectively bumping all the characters forward, right? If you want to think of it that way. So we can't plug suit her from here, because she's just going to go all the way here. right? It'll like mess up your chains a little bit. This is the easiest way to kind of like remember what servants you want to go where when using Summer Chloe. You just put whoever you want to be that free second Plugsuit right there. That is the easiest way that I found to kind of just keep track of who you want to use and all that good stuff. Now, Summer Chloe's giving us some good stuff over here. We're getting the little bit of the attack with this one. We're also going to be getting the NP damage buff as well, which is kind of nice. We could, in other setups, you could use that to get some extra NP because this manuscript buff that she gives everybody does give you NP based on how many you have, but obviously we're not going to use that. The guts doesn't really matter. I just give it to Ibuki. The guts is important because that's going to be the Plugsuit skill that she's going to make herself leave after using that skill. So we're going to go ahead and pop that. That's going to get Ibuki up to her NP. And then this is where things can get a little bit tricky. You might have heard a cut there, not trying to be deceptive, but we did get some really bad rolls on our stars with this one. This can be where this is a little bit finicky because of how star weight is working. We have two characters that are fighting for stars, and we also have two characters that are generating stars. You can also pop her skill on the following turn. You could already just get her battery up. That way you have extra stars going into this turn. I think I messed up doing that on this recording. So it can be a little iffy on this one, but any one of like, say, Kenshin's cards critting will get the job done. Same thing for Summer Ibuki. So if you wanted to be a little quirky and you wanted to say like lead with your quick card or something, you could do that, right? I'm just trying to show off how it actually works in practice. That way people that are trying to replicate or trying to get ideas for how to clear 90++, it's not just on JP, but also on the NA side of things. You get some ideas of how you're clearing these things. If you don't have Oberon, if you don't have your own Castoria, you don't have your own Koyanskaya, things can get a little dubious, they can get a little sketchy, right? And see, there we go, yeah. So if we had popped Ibuki's battery the turn prior, we would have had more stars. That's my mistake, right? Because you don't need to save her battery for anything. It's not like you need to preserve Ibuki's battery to like, I don't know, get it off on this following node. Because what you can do that I found that instead of using the charisma buff on this final node, what you can go ahead and do is you can use the Ibuki, who's going to actually like refund about 30%. You could just dump the Oberon batteries into her, and that'll get her up to 100%, which does also eliminate some of the RNG as well for, say, needing to take out this guy over here. So you could just have, say, your AoE mop up these guys. It'll take a little bit of HP off of this, but then it'll also completely eliminate that guy, which just takes out any unneeded stress on how you're going to deal with that guy with some face card. And then Kenshin over here will just utterly obliterate the Izumi over here because she basically has maxed out power mod at this point. She's getting 2 from the CE, she's getting 2 from her own skill, she's behind Ibuki, so she's also going up to overcharge 5. So she is essentially like fully built up on this one. She's getting the max usage out of her man power mod. And she does anywhere like around like the 800,000 mark with the Oberon overcharge. Oh, yep, she'll go ahead and just smack that guy. She'll just obliterate them. 632? What's her... Hey, whoa. Hey, look, boys. I promise. I swear when I was using her yesterday, she was hitting that 800k. But to be fair, this way does actually be... This actually is a little bit more consistent now that I'm, like, seeing it. Because this is actually the first time that I'm actually recording my run doing this. And it still worked out. So Kenshin did not let me down. So you can see... The whole point of this is just to kind of show off that, like... If you put your mind to it, you can get runs that are still fairly consistent, that you can 3-turn, without the need of your own Oberon, your own Castoria, your own Koyanskaya, these like other really bonkers supports. These are still doable, right? You might have to rack your head over them a little bit, but you can still get the job done, right? It's still something that you should be able to complete. Now that I've kind of explained it, we'll just try to run through this a second time, just to kind of see how it goes, just because whenever I seem to like load up the recording for a lot of this stuff, that's when things start to go bad. That's when my characters are like, we're gonna roll all of our like minimum attack rolls actually today. We don't want to do anything. We actually do not want to show off how good we are. But so kind of going through this at a normal speed, we will just go ahead and proc all of our skills over here. We gotta make sure that we give this to Kagetora. That is mission critical. We pop all of these. And then this time we will actually go ahead and pop Summer Ibuki's battery so we can start genning stars, so that way we don't have that issue that we had last time. And then we will go ahead and we will pop the BB's NP. I do know that without the charisma, if you're one of those people that isn't using stuff like FGA or your auto farmers, that BB Dubai with like an Arts Brave Chain can also clear this as well. That is something that we actually got on our first run going through this. And then this will be the one moment where like Ibuki's like, I'm actually gonna hit all of my min rolls today. I actually don't feel like I actually don't feel like showing off that I'm really, really good, that I'm a great servant. No, Ibuki, what do you mean? No! No, what do you mean? Well, you know what? Hey, you know what? Sometimes you get a little camera shy, right? Sometimes your characters get a little camera shy. But you know, look, that's what I mean. You know, when you give yourself the challenge of not having to use any of the big supports, that is something that can happen. You can definitely have those runs where things are a little bit goofy, where things are a little suspicious, but I guess I just wanted to do that. I just wanted to show off some different runs you can do, because I guess, you know, I remember being there during like the Scotty meta when everybody was like, oh, if you don't have Scotty, you can't clear things. And I'm like, okay, hold on, well, let me cook something up. And it's just like this abomination of a team. And it's like, this is abhorrent. What are you doing with this? And I'm like, well, it will get the job done. And that's all I needed to do. So hopefully this helps somebody else out. Maybe, maybe you got some entertaining on it. It's so funny because I've been running that node since I got off of stream last night. I've been running it to do clears, and it's been perfectly fine. And then I was like, you know what? Maybe this would help somebody out. Maybe this would be a good video to do it. So I hop in there, just nobody wants to clear the enemy. Nobody wants to clear nothing, right? Nobody wants to get in there and do the work, all right? But then again, that is also why if you have servants that have like star bomb CEs immediately, stuff like that can also really, really help. If they have the skills to just go ahead and drop some stars, just so you can further eliminate any RNG, it's very helpful. But I guess also what leveling up your class cards, your little command card things with the faux pas, I'm not doing that because that costs a billion QP, but you know, if it's something that you've already done, that could be very helpful. But hopefully you guys enjoyed. I just wanted to make this little bit of a video because I thought it was interesting. I thought it was fun. I love using a lot of these like random different team comps and whatnot, even if they do fail me as soon as I hit the record button. But you know what? You know, that's life, man. That's life, man. That's gonna happen. So with that being said, I'll go ahead and I'll catch you guys later today during the stream, or I'll catch you tomorrow in the morning for another ZTL daily FGO upload. So with that being said, have a good day, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.